Hello and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the RDA. This is your Manchester United Michael Carrick's press conference. I know he is still here, unfortunately Ralf Rangnick has not been granted his work permit or his visa or whatever. However, Ralf Rangnick, he is in England, he is at Manchester United home ground now, Old Trafford. Just to give you a quick update on that from Fabrizio Romano, basically saying that confirming Ralf Rangnick was at Old Trafford today with John Murtough. It's his first time into the stadium. He was dreaming of Premier League chance, and now it's his time to start. He's expected to be there in the stands also tomorrow for Manchester United versus Arsenal. Now, whether or not that is a good thing, well, Michael Carrick was asked that a few times in this press conference, which is it was a bit of a shorter press conference today. I don't know if it's just because of the time they had or what the situation was, but it was a much shorter press conference today. And he was asked about Rangnick, he was asked about Ronaldo. Surprisingly, no Ole Gunnar Solskjaer questions in there, which is for the better. But yeah, we will get straight into it. Rangnick will be there for Arsenal tomorrow in the stands. He has no influence. Spoiler alert, if you came here for that, Michael Carrick did say that he's had no influence with Ralf Rangnick. He hasn't spoken to him or whatever. So if we were looking for anything that resemblance of Ralf Rangnick team against Arsenal on Thursday, sorry to disappoint you, but it ain't gonna happen. But hopefully that Ralf Rangnick will be here training and leading the team for the Crystal Palace game at least. But anyways, we had to discuss Michael Carrick's press conference, so let's see what it is. On the Manchester United website, Michael Carrick met with the media on Wednesday afternoon to discuss Manchester United's Premier League game against Arsenal. He was asked about on the press conferences, said, "Hi Michael, I just wondered what you have learned about yourself in the last 10 days or so, and what are you hoping to learn from Ralf Rangnick?" Now, what we would expect is you'd be like, Carrick to be a bit enthusiastic, say, I'm glad to work with Michael, I'm glad to work with Ralf. He's going to bring a whole new philosophy to the team. It's very excited, but it was a bit lackluster. He said, "Good question. I think obviously a lot has happened in the last week or 10 days, and I've had to certainly adapt and take on a new challenge, and some skill sets may be out of my comfort zone that I've never had to tackle before. I've enjoyed seeing how I've coped with that at times. You don't know until you're in that situation, and you have to learn on the job." That sentence says everything about United in the past few years. Learning on the job, jobs for the boys, is something we do not want to hear from a Manchester United manager. That's why I said, usually Mr. Malota covers all these press conferences, and we still discuss the quotes in our WhatsApp group or whatever. And a sentence like that, it doesn't really fill you with much confidence or enthusiasm, or does it, coming from the words of the current Manchester United manager, which, like I said, to be fair to Carrick, I can understand why he's uncomfortable. He's not meant to be there. He's not meant to be taking press conferences. So I can understand it, but definitely not something you'd want a manager of Manchester United to be saying we're learning on the job. And I would take that into consideration if I was Ralf Rangnick, whether or not, when I'm deciding, on who my coaching team should be. He did also say, "I can say for the most part, he has enjoyed it." Fair enough, Carrick. He was then asked, just in terms of Ralf Rangnick, we're expecting he could be in the stands at Old Trafford tomorrow night, which he is, which he will be. It has been confirmed by people like Fabrizio and other journalists that he should be in the stands tomorrow. And then he was also asked, "What's the latest from your perspective?" Carrick really said, "I haven't really got anything to update you on, other than the process of getting the work permit visa is ongoing and coming through now as we speak. I'm in the position I was in for Villarreal and Chelsea, getting the boys ready for tomorrow night." So there we go. Michael Carrick basically confirming that, he hasn't really had anything to do with Ralf Rangnick. The team hasn't had anything to do with Ralf Rangnick. It will very much be a Michael Carrick team against Arsenal, as it was for Villarreal and Chelsea. "Michael, have you spoken to Ralf at all?" He said, "No, it's pretty much as it is with the both games we've been to. Because of the process and the work permit, we haven't been able to, so we've carried on as we have done. It's worked well for the last two games, and hopefully it will as well tomorrow." The thing is, will it? I don't really know. Under Michael Carrick, we've seen how it can be pragmatic. He has kept a clean sheet. He had only managed to concede one goal to Chelsea. So what I'd expect tomorrow is similar to what we said in the preview. Expect pragmatic Manchester United. Don't expect any signs of Ralf Rangnick to have an influence in this game. And for Carrick, I think the most important thing was just not betting a loss. Maybe try and nick a win, try and nick 3 points, and just go from there. But if I was Rangnick and I was sitting in the stands tomorrow, I would like to see some fight, some passion from players, because surely the players know that if Ralph Ragnick is going to be in the stands tomorrow, I'll have to put up a fight. I'll have to put up a performance to indicate to Ralph that this is why you should pick me. You got to earn it under the new boss. The only sad thing is that players like Donny, players like Bai, some of these fringe players, maybe the Tellers, the Delos, who would expect to be maybe given chances, even like Martial, for example, they won't really get it under Carrick because, like we said, Carrick will choose his favourites. He will choose McFred. He had an absolute absurd comment about Fred, which I'll get to, but like I said, I think for at least the players who might play against Arsenal, some of them don't deserve the chance, but if I was them, I'd be definitely up for it, and I'd give it everything to show the new boss why they should pick me. He was asked, Michael, have you spoken to Ralph at all? Well, I've answered that. He said, I'm sorry. He said, obviously at the weekend you made big decisions about Cristiano Ronaldo. I just wondered what the responsibility is like for you, knowing that the guy who is coming in is around, which is a bit weird. And Carrick, he said, I don't think those type of decisions get blown up, really. I think a lot are, which is a bit weird, but because I don't really think it's blown up. It's Cristiano Ronaldo, is the biggest asset to Manchester United, so I don't think it's blown up too much, to be honest. And I think that in a game like as big as Chelsea, people want to know, why aren't you picking your big signing, your big game player, Cristiano Ronaldo? But anyways, he says, when you're inside it, the team or the club, decisions are made for a lot of different reasons. Of course, certain ones get bigger news than others, but that's how it was. I didn't see anything to make a decision. It certainly wasn't within the camp or the group. We all get on really well. The game went well to an extent as well, and it wasn't no drama at all. So Carrick just saying that there wasn't really a problem, and just giving the safe political answer with regards to Cristiano Ronaldo. What we expect Carrick to say. He's not going to say that I dropped him, I got big balls. I am that confident that I dropped. Yes, I am the manager who dropped Cristiano Ronaldo. So I don't really have too many problems with that. However, I do have a problem with him dropping Cristiano Ronaldo. Regardless of what game, I always say that you should play Cristiano Ronaldo. He is your match winner. He is your big game player. So you would have him on the pitch. But anyways, it is what you expect with the media. He was asked, you talk about Ralph coming in and you're willing to learn new things. I think you said 7 days ago or something that you had your own philosophy and your own ideas. Are you willing to learn moving forward under Ralph's coaching? And then which Michael replied, I think you always have your own ideas, whether it be a player. Certainly players have got their own ideas as a coach, a manager, whatever it may be. As an individual, there's certain things you can prefer or certain things that come naturally to you. I'm always prepared to learn, which I like. I like that from Carrick. I've obviously learned a lot. I learned an awful lot over the last few weeks. I've learned on the job, if you like. But as a backup, I've seen what goes on and close hand over recent years, so it was a bit of a step up. Maybe not as much as people think. Not big step up from his current coach to become manager of Manchester United. That is an alarming statement, I would think. Because the reality of the situation is, Carrick, you wouldn't have learnt anything under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You probably would have learned more under Jose Mourinho. But I guess, again, what do we expect Carrick to say? And again, the whole thing about learning on the job, it's not something you want to hear. And I don't want to be hearing this again, certainly after this week. I think after this press conference, it's not supposed to be Carrick doing it. Carrick is not supposed to be in the situation. We need Ragnick in. We want different questions asked. We would like more exciting, enthusiastic press conferences from the future of the Manchester United manager. So it is what it is. This next one really baffled me though, because the journalist said, can I ask you about Fred? He's had a couple of decent games when you've been in charge. Has his role changed, and what is your relationship with him? You've obviously been coaching him. You know that position very well. What does he bring? Where can he improve? His first choice central midfielder for Brazil. How do you see his game at the moment? Which is the biggest question of the whole interview, and the last question on the interview, which Carrick gave quite a lengthy answer, an answer I don't really like. I do think Fred is going to be an important player for us. Like I've said, under Ragnick, I think he'll be transformed into the player that we once thought we were buying. So I've got lots of love for Fred. I think I'll have a clean slate with Fred, but at the moment it's just very weird. And so Carrick said that I think that it gets overlooked. Like you said, his first choice for Brazil in a good Brazil team. I don't really think it gets overlooked. Lots of people know that Fred is an international. Everyone knows that he's an international. So it is what it is. He said it shows how far Fred has really came since he came to the club and how much he's improved. I really like him. For me, one of the biggest things people don't see is his attitude and his desire to be a team player, and he's desperate to put himself out there in the big games. Again, Fred in the big games hasn't really lit it up, hasn't really shown us anything. We look at the Chelsea game, all Fred did, he was better than McTominay, but that's not the level, that's not the bar. I guess you could say he was crucial with some of the interceptions, but he's always tenacious, so we always expect that from Fred. But again, I wouldn't say he's desperate to put himself out there in big games. I don't think he is, because I don't see that type of personality. But maybe that's just me. You let me know. He said he twisted his ankle against Villarreal in the first half, and I've seen a lot of players come off, but he said I see a lot of people come off, but to come out in the second half when it was stiff and swollen and sore, it's not always easy to carry on. Again, that's something I don't want to be hearing from manager of Manchester United. You've basically admitted that a player kind of played through a small injury, which is not something we want. You know, this whole thing about we like Maguire, we like Scott McTominay because if they have a broken ankle or they are dying on the football pitch, then we like them because they're still going to go out and run and try their best. No, you play the best. If you play a better player who's in a better shape, in a better condition to win the game. I don't like this whole so much like siege mentality that you must die on the football pitch. Nah, less with that nonsense. But he said anyways, but he got through, and that bounced into the next game. There was no ways he was going to miss the next game. The mentality is infectious, and I'm all for that. He's improved an awful lot. He brings great energy to the team. I agree with that. He's played a little. Well, I agree with brings great energy to the team. I don't agree with he's improved a lot. Because like I said, I think many players under Oli and 2 games under Carrick definitely has not improved. Well, Carrick said he's played a little bit higher up the pitch in the last few games, maybe than before, because we've tweaked a couple of things for both games, and he's done ever so well with that. No, he didn't. He got the ball gifted to him by Mendy again last weekend, and he basically passed it back to Mendy. So even if he does play more forward and he does play a little bit higher up the pitch, that's not where we want Fred. If anything, we'd probably rather have Scott McTominay bombing forward, because at least Scott McTominay might have a shot on him. At least when Scott McTominay is driving box to box, it's a little bit more dangerous. Fred is not that type of player, so again, that's something I don't like coming out of Carrick's mouth. He said, especially with Cristiano's goal at Villarreal, it epitomizes that. He nearly got one the other night. He didn't really nearly get one. He passed the ball straight to Mendy. He said when he intercepted it from when he intercepted it from Mendy on late and nearly scored. He didn't nearly scored. He passed the ball to Mendy. He rolled it to Mendy. So again, something I don't really agree with. He says he gives an awful lot to the team, and I like him an awful lot. Well, I'm not surprised. You and Oli aren't. Well, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Now, that's the phrase they say. So, like I say, what I think about the whole press conference in general, it's not something to bark up trees about. It's not something to get me excited ahead of Arsenal. If anything, it's just one of those filler press conferences where it's like, we have to do it. So let's just go out there. Let's just do a press conference because we have to. Let's move on to the Arsenal game. Let's see what we can do, get the result, and then into the next game. It's hopefully a new chapter for Manchester United. Scary thing is we thought that right now during the Arsenal game the new chapter would have started, but like we said, some complications, the visa, whatever it is, work permits, has put that on for delay. So like I said, to summarize, Michael Carrick's press conference overall didn't really fill me with excitement. Overall didn't really give me enthusiasm. I just want this reign to be over. I want Rangnick to come in. I wish Rangnick was here. We could have asked him about his formation, certain players like maybe Donny, how is he going to change the philosophy of football at United, about attacking football, some tactics. That's what I would like to hear from Rangnick. But anyways, hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. I took the press conference reaction today just because Mr. Maloto is currently in the process of moving back, moving back to his old house. And then he'll be moving and carry on some more. But I'm sure you'll see him on a couple of shows during the week. Definitely, hopefully, the match reaction. So like I said, smash like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. Let me know what you thought of Michael Carrick's press conference. And I'll check you all very, very soon. Goodbye.